So this is question 3 of the evaluation. What have you learnt from your audience feedback? So we actually had the opportunity about a week before we had to have submitted the final film to show people the first cut we'd made, and this meant we could get their feedback, and anything they wanted us to improve on, we had the chance to. So the first people we showed it to were a group of Year 11s, so they're 15 and 16, so just the start of our age range that would be suited to the film, as it's a 15 certificate. I gave everyone a post-it note, and they were able to write down their thoughts on the film. So some of the main pointers, the things they really praised was the opening. A lot of people were very positive on and enjoyed the fact that we jumped from one scene to the other. They also enjoyed the music we'd used and the way it fitted with the atmosphere. And they liked the use of the voiceovers and the plot as well. They thought it was quite nice to have the twists in the plot, which kept it engaging. So it was telling me that they liked the genre itself, the film noir traditions. And some of the pointers they said we needed to improve on was the cafe scene. There was a really bad cut and jump when they're in the middle of the conversation, which needed to be improved, and some general transitions, just more fades and things like that. And the voiceovers sometimes covered up some of the sound, so we just needed to make sure all our sound was in the right place and accurate. So that was really helpful. And as well as getting the improvements from the Year 11 class, I was able to ask a few other people of all different ages and made this video on YouTube.
It might be on camera.
So what did you like in Love Lola?
I really liked the opening. It was really different and made me intrigued about the film. What I do feel that could be improved is some of your transitions and maybe make the story a bit clearer.
Thank you. Oh, you asked the question.
Not really. So what did you like about Love Lola?
I really enjoyed the opening. I felt that the way that you had included shots of the main characters with the typewriter effect was really effective. And I liked the progress within the narrative.
What didn't you like?
I felt that some of the shots were a bit jumpy, so editing could have just been done a bit neater, so that was it.
So what did you like and not like in Love Lola?
I really liked the fact that Charlie and Simon were introduced for the whole film and how dramatically Lola's characters changed. And I think something that could be improved would be to maybe make the jumps from one scene to another more smoother.
So what did you like in Love Lola?
I really liked the way you used the typewriter to make the sound effect. I thought that was really effective. And I liked the plot. I thought it was really interesting and it kept me engaged.
And what do you think could be improved?
Could be improved. I don't know. I just really liked it. Maybe make it black and white to make it more to make it older and have a more effect. Yeah, I thought that was really
The narrative.
yeah, that was really good.
Okay, so what did you like about the film? The jumpy scenes and angles worked nicely to create tension, and the singing over the piece made the clip more effective. There was a part in it where the angles where Noah was speaking across the canteen, and that sort of, it didn't really make as much sense as it could because it was so shortly cut. There was also the bit where they were in Pepper Alley, and there was that sort of split scene on the side. Yeah. I didn't really understand that, so maybe if you made it a bit more clearer, or maybe I was just being stupid, but I didn't understand what it was about.
Oh, that's good.
But other than that, it was really realistic, like the singing over the clip as well, and it was just really good, and it made it gripping. And I think that was it actually. But overall, it was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Did you think their plot was quite clear? Yeah, the plot was really clear actually. I did understand it, and I think that the audience would have been a wide range. So yeah, that was really good.
So what did you like about Love Lola?
Well, I particularly liked the start of the film with the piano, Noah playing the piano, and then the singing over the introduction, the titles coming in. And I loved the typewriter as the letters appeared on the screen. I thought the plot was really intriguing because at the end you just don't quite know who she shot, who's still alive, and it's like the game starting all over again. So I thought it was a very good plot.
I really liked the settings. It wasn't just in one place. You used the town, you used the little alleyways, you used the school, the cafe scene, everything really, really good.
Very good.
And what do you think could be improved?
I just think the sound at the beginning where she's singing could be a little bit enhanced, more enhanced. Yeah.
And there was just one scene, I think it was the cafe scene, the cut to the cafe scene when Noah speaks. It just seems to jump in from nowhere, so maybe that could just be blended in a little bit better. But the whole thing we thought was fabulous. We enjoyed it.
Brilliant.
So from that feedback as well, the general feel was that it was very positive for the opening and the general plot. However, they were a bit confused with certain areas that we'd need to emphasise a bit more, and also just the jumps, like I said, from the feedback from the Year 11s, just needed to be improved. So generally they were all saying the similar things. So from this, I made a video from using the first cut on Movie Maker, and just added text over the top of the improvements we needed to make to the film. What I'll do is I'll put this video next to this video on the blog so you can watch the full thing properly. So after doing that, I then spent the final week, putting these improvements onto the blog, onto the film, sorry, and then got feedback from the final film that I posted on YouTube. So I created a survey on surveymonkey.com, another one. And then I created some bar charts and pie charts to show the results that I received from the survey. So most people found the plot understandable now, with 90% saying yes and only 10% saying no. They still found it a bit confusing. The favourite element they had of the film was the opening sequence. We had a lot of praise for the opening, saying that it was very interesting and intriguing to see the jumps between the two scenes, and fading in between the two, so there was a connection between Lola and the other two men. They also enjoyed the twists and the engaging plot as well, but to improve, they said the storyline was a bit confusing. I suppose that's probably because of the time frame we had. If we had a bit longer, we could have gone a bit more in depth and detailed. And also there was a couple of jumpy cuts that maybe I hadn't noticed, that I still needed to improve on. From the people that I interviewed, I also tried to find out their age ranges and the sort of preferred genres they'd enjoy. All of the people that I took the survey understood that our film was a film noir, which I thought was very important to show that we'd used a lot of the same elements that are in film noirs, made it into a modern neo-noir. So the age range, a lot of the people who took the survey and enjoyed the film were 16 to 18, so I would say they're probably our target audience at the moment, because it's such a modern interpretation. It sort of fits with the younger age, but it was still enjoyed by the older generation as well. But they were saying how they really enjoyed the older elements that we added in from traditional film noirs, as they would have seen the traditional film noirs when they were released. So the preferred genres, the males were very enjoyed the crime genre, and also the sort of thriller and comedy elements, so different films. So they are definitely the preferred audience for film noirs, as they prefer the crime side to it and the idea of corruption and the themes that are in film noirs. So few females would probably be our target audience, but there's still a small number, I think, that would enjoy the film, as they said that they did like crime elements. A few people enjoyed that genre, and I feel that they'd enjoy it as well because there is a romantic element to the film, which they had the highest percentage as the most popular genre. There is an element of romance in the film, but it is twisted, so you've got that idea. It's not like the same old rom-com that you go and see in the film. We've twisted that stereotype and subverted it into a modern interpretation, which I feel they might be interested in. And then overall, all the males enjoyed the film, and just one female said she would prefer, she doesn't really like crime and thrillers and that sort of genre and those elements in the film, so she didn't enjoy it as much. So as well as getting feedback from the SurveyMonkey.com, I also asked people over social networking sites. So I asked people to comment on the YouTube video, and these were the responses we got. So Emma said she loved the opening, which was commonly said by most people, and she just said the voiceovers were still a bit need to be faded a bit more because of the new transitions we put in. You couldn't really hear both sounds, so we needed to work on that if we were ever to make another one. Harriet was just completely positive about the film and loved the voiceovers, so she really liked some of the unique traits that a film noir has. And then Ishbel also enjoyed the plot, and she just said some of the scenes were still a bit choppy, so again she is saying that we needed to improve some of the cuts. So if we had a bit more time, maybe I could have put some more of the spent more time looking at each individual clip. As well as this, I also used Facebook, just need to find the picture, as a way of asking people to watch the film and getting feedback. So Alice responded for me on Facebook and just stated that she thought it was a very professional film, and she just found the plot again a bit confusing. So the general feedback was that it was a very interesting story and they liked the general film itself. However, they did find the most important feedback we had was that the fact that the storyline was a bit confusing still for some people. So if we were ever going to make another film noir, we'd need to extend the length and go into a bit more detail and depth as to the storyline, so that they understood what was happening and who was being the victim to Lola. So overall we had quite nice feedback really. Most people really enjoyed the film, and I felt this was really helpful to see where we went wrong, and what especially when we had the time to use the first cut and to get the improvements off them. That really helped from another pair of eyes to see what was going wrong, because we'd been involved in it so much we hadn't noticed some of the things that people had said we needed to improve on. So having that gap where we could use their feedback was really helpful, and then the final outcome of the responses was also very positive and made me think the film was very reputable.